Okay guys, as promised, here's some help on the homework. So, number one, the problem, sorry I put my paper away, the problem is a used car with a CD player costs $3,200. The car alone costs 9 times as much as the CD player. What is the cost of each? So, if we think about the general setup, we've got two things here and we've got a total cost. So, sorry about that, let me move that. The first thing that we have is we have the car itself. So the cost of the car plus the cost of the CD player would give us our total cost. So now we have to take that basic idea and turn it into an equation. What we know, easily we know that the total cost is $3,200, so we're going to fill that in. We don't know the cost of the car, and we don't know the cost of the CD player. If we pick two different variables to represent those, then we'll never be able to solve, because we'll have an infinite number of solutions. I guess there are a number of reasonable solutions, but technically an infinite number of solutions. The cost of the car, we know, is 9 times the CD player. So if I pick C for the cost of the CD player, then 9 times as much would be 9C. So two things to remember as you're going through these problems. The first one is to only use one variable. If there are two things you don't know, use that one variable in a different way to represent your total or your other unknown value. The second thing is to, in general, select the smaller amount as your variable. It will make your life a whole lot easier. I could have picked C for the cost of the car and C divided by 9 as my cost of the CD player, but that would have made things a whole lot more difficult when it comes to combining like terms. Okay, so let's get back to the problem. As is, we need to take the cost of the car. We need to add it to the cost of the CD player, and we need to set that equal to the total cost. So, cost of the car. That is 9C plus cost of the CD player, C, equals $3,200. At this point, it should not be terribly hard to give me 10C as $3,200. Divide both sides by 10 to get C is equal to $320. I'm going to move the page down a little bit. Because this is a word problem, I want to go back and make sure that I always have my answer in context. So $320 was the cost of the CD player. So I'm going to come back and the question is, what is the cost of each? So cost of my CD player was $320. Over on the side, I might want to say, okay, well, what is 9 times 320? I'm going to grab my calculator. And 9 times 320 would be $2,880. So that means cost of the car, $2,880, and that would give me my total. So I do want to make sure that this answer makes sense, and I'm going to take that 288, I'm going to add to it 320, and I do get a total cost of $3,200. Alright, let's look at Okay, we're going to look at the next problem I asked you to do for homework tonight, which was number 5. Number 5 says find 3 consecutive integers whose sum is 81. You need to know that the word consecutive, which I have spelled incorrectly up here, consecutive, okay, means numbers that are in a row. If you think about the Phillies, not doing too hot right now, but when they won consecutive league pennants, that means that they won them in a row. So consecutive numbers, I've just got a little picture with an example. These are examples of consecutive numbers. If I look at the problem, it says that their sum is 81. So sum means that I'm looking for a total when I'm going to be adding. So I'm going to take my first integer, add my second integer, and my third, and that's going to give me my total, or my sum. The first integer, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to pick x. If I know my second integer has to be consecutive, if I look at these as an example, the difference between one and the other is always going to be 1. So my second number is going to be 1 more than my first. My third number is going to be 1 more than my second, or 2 more than my first. My total they gave me in the problem was 81. So I'm going to use that information, and I'm going to try and come up with an equation to be able to simplify and solve. My first integer was x. My second integer was x plus 1. My third integer was x plus 2. And my total was 81. We're going to combine like terms. X plus x plus x is going to give me 3x. 1 plus 2 is going to give me 3. I'm going to set that equal to 81. That should give you guys a good start on number 5. You need to go through and solve the rest of number 5 and then go back and check your answer. Remember, the answer is you need to give me all 3 integers. The last problem that I asked you to take a look at tonight was number 12. The length of the rectangle is 4 more than the width. If the perimeter is 108, find the length. Okay, so we've got our length, our width, and our perimeter. Some of you will think about your perimeter as adding up the outside. Length plus width plus length plus width. Simply traveling around the outside of your rectangle. Others of you love the formula of 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Essentially, they are the same thing, and either would be fine with me. The perimeter was given to you, and that was 108. The length, they don't tell us the length and they don't tell us the width, but I know that the length is 4 more than the width. If you think about those tips I gave you on the first problem, you want to pick a variable that is the smaller of the 2 amounts. That's going to make your life easier. So if I pick the width as w and the length is 4 more, it's going to be w plus 4. So my equation, if I pick my first scenario, I would have 108 is equal to w plus 4. This is my length, plus w. There's my width, plus w plus 4, length, plus w, width. If I use this second one as a guide, I would end up with 108 is equal to 2 times w plus 4 plus 2w, because w is my width. Either way, if I use the one on the left, I would be filling in unwritten coefficients and combining like terms to get 108 is equal to 4w plus 8. Had I done it this way, I would be distributing. And then I would be combining like terms. You can see it doesn't really matter. You're going to end up in the same place. This should give you a good start. Again, you need to find the length to completely answer this question. So go through, find your answer, make sure that your answer makes sense, and do a quick check. Thanks, guys.